Welcome, everybody, back to the James and Dame Show. I'm Will James.
I'm Josiah Damas.
People are going to be so confused. It's not Dames?
Well, technically it's pronounced Damas, but I don't care. People have mispronounced my name for way too long, so I'm just like, fine. All right.
But yes, welcome back to the show. We love all of the attention that the skits have gotten lately, and we love that people have loved them so much. So thank you for the support there. And if you like any of the videos you've been see in the future, like, want to make a comment, and subscribe if you like the content, whatever. But for today, since we're moving past our tier lists, finally, we're going to predict how these some of these divisions are going to play out, going through division by division, team by team, and counting wins, or where we think teams will win, and kind of just lay out what teams may make the playoffs, kind of see where they'll fall in the division, what teams are going to make jumps, and where they might end in their division. You know, like who's gonna be the bottom feeder this year. So these usually end up being completely wrong regardless of what happens. So it's just
Usually. But we like to think we can be smart and predict certain things. So
we are starting with the AFC East, as the title would say.
AFC East.
So
we're doing the Bills?
Kicking off with the Bills.
The Bills.
Let's just go through, pick out the easy wins. I think here, I think what should be easy wins here? Cardinals, I think, should probably be. I think the Cardinals are going to be in the up and up, but I think that should be a pretty easy win.
Mm-hmm.
So you got one there. The Dolphins in Miami, with how the team's going, I think that probably is going to be a loss.
Yeah, Miami is up on the upside recently. Yes, last season they haven't really won against a winning team, really, besides the Dallas Cowboys last season. And maybe another team. It might have been the Ravens last year. Anyways, point still being, Dolphins didn't really show a lot of like potential to be like very good last year, but this year they could very well show that.
And we'll get to them after the Bills. But I think this game, it's week 2. It's sunny Miami. I think that's prime time for Miami to take on the Bills.
Mm-hmm. It's probably gonna be hot then too.
It's gonna be super hot. I think the Bills took a couple of steps back. I think even though they've had the Dolphins number in years past, I think this one on the road to Miami, I think this one's going to be a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's coming to.
Jacksonville comes to Buffalo, and this one's an interesting one.
Because before this, I looked a little ahead actually. Duval actually has a very rough schedule to start out the year, or at least for their schedule. The first 4 teams that they're playing is, I believe it's not in this order. It's Texans, Dolphins, Bills, and another AFC powerhouse. So they're kind of like, they're kind of screwed. I think of the teams that they could beat in the first 4 games, I think the Bills they could beat.
I think this one could be, and again, it's just how much of a step back do the Bills take this year? I'm thinking this is more of like a toss-up game, because the way we're doing this is games we think they win, games that we think they lose, and games that are toss-ups, and those count as half wins, and it'll give us kind of a win total projection sort of thing. I think this one is a toss-up.
So yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think that's a toss-up. It's a 50-50. The Ravens.
No.
I think that's going to be a loss. That's going to be rough. The Texans.
Probably a loss.
On the road, I would say, yeah, that's probably a loss. Although, again, we don't know what the Texans are going to look like this year.
This is true, but they have that offense is scary.
That one's going to be rough for them. Then they go into New York.
The Jets. That one they should maybe win.
Well, last year they lost that one, didn't that was the one that it was the week 1 opener. They lost on the Xavier Gibson
Yes.
kick return.
So they're kind of looking for a little bit of revenge, a little bit.
The question is Aaron Rodgers, and can the Jets really, are the Jets built up to be what they are? It's just there's interesting division to start with because there's so much unknowns here.
Yes. With how I know old quarterbacks tend to do with a new team this late in their career
And an injury,
the Bills might take this one because I don't think Aaron Rodgers will be as good as he once was, but he will still be okay enough to, do something.
Yeah, I could see, especially early in the year, because again, Aaron Rodgers has not played a full game with the Jets yet. It'll be, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 weeks in. You might see him start to get it together. Again, he might also not look as good as you've seen him in Green Bay,
No.
but I think he might start to get it back. I still think the Bills take it here while they have a chance. The Titans are still in rebuild, kind of. I think the Bills kind of take that pretty comfortably.
Bills should be able to win that one.
The Seahawks in Seattle.
That one's an interesting one. It is in Seattle, so that's a game changer in my opinion. Because the thing is that Seattle isn't a terrible team.
No,
they're an okay team.
They're solid, and at least until they get, and I like Geno, but until they get like a franchise quarterback, they're kind of just in like a limbo.
Yeah, and this is the first year without Pete Carroll.
Yes, they did.
So this might be kind of a sloppy year for Seattle, or at least to get on the get-go. So I'm leaning towards more of a Bills win here, only because of the fact that Seattle, first-year coach, decent team, not as strong of a quarterback as they would hope to have, unless Geno turns into a really good quarterback this next year. And they're still trying to. They're trying to get over the hump with the offensive schemes. The defense is starting to show back up again. So
I could do that. I was thinking more of just a toss-up game.
We can do a toss-up for right now.
Do a toss-up there. And then Dolphins at home.
This one, the Bills should win.
Yeah, this one, I would imagine. The Bills have only lost to the Dolphins once with Sean McDermott.
Jeez, I didn't think about that.
Or... not Sean McDermott. Mike McDaniel. What?
Dolphins have Mike McDaniel, yes.
The Dolphins have only beaten the Bills once with Mike McDaniel.
Yes.
So I think you could see a loss in week 2 for the Bills, but I think this one is going to be November. It's going to be in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I think it's much easier it's a much better situation for them, especially because the Dolphins tend to fade down the stretch.
Yes.
Indianapolis.
I'm going to say the Bills win this one. Indianapolis can be a really good team. This is one of those teams where it's very hard to tell right now because we haven't seen Richardson play to his full potential yet. He's only played 5 games this last year. He was a rookie. We don't know how he's going to look after his injury. The Colts are kind of, I don't know. They're not a mess. It's a to be determined kind of team because we haven't seen them at their full potential yet. I'm only going to put a Bills win here only because I don't really trust the Colts, especially recently with, winning games. So maybe that's just recency bias and everything and not being able to, stick it out to the end.
Would you rather lean towards a Bills win or a toss-up here?
I'd rather lean towards a Bills win right here.
Okay.
And then week
Kansas
11.
City. Now, I want to know how many times has Buffalo beaten Kansas City during the regular season?
Last year, I believe, was the first time they beat the Chiefs at the Chiefs.
I think it was once more, right?
Once more. So I think they beat them a couple times or 3 times.
Because during the regular season, it's pretty balanced.
Yeah, during the regular season. It was all during the regular season. They've never beat them in the playoffs. If that trend's going to continue, however, I think, because I'm looking ahead right now, because the Bills play the Niners in the next 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
One of those games the Bills are going to win because both of them are going to Buffalo.
Yeah. So the thing I was gonna say here is everyone obviously Chiefs Super Bowl champs, but they have started to not look the greatest during the regular season, and I don't think they took the step forward that people are expecting in the offseason.
Okay.
So they might look just as bad or worse this year. And if the Bills figure their stuff out and don't come out looking like they did at the beginning of last year, I think the Bills could easily win this game.
Okay.
So I would have.
So you want the Bills to win this one?
I was thinking Bills win this one. Ugh. Yeah, Bills win this one.
Okay.
Because I think the Chiefs might have a rougher year,
Rougher year.
maybe. We don't know. But then we do have
The Niners too.
the Niners at Buffalo, with Buffalo coming off of a bye, and in December, which is where.
Ooh, that's okay. That's a lot closer than I thought it would be. I forgot how late Week 13 is.
Yeah, and this is Sunday night.
This is even a Sunday night too. So yeah,
is it it's a Sunday night.
Yeah,
I was trying to make sure it was Monday night. So with that being said, that still only pulls this to me to maybe a toss up because I was still.
I was
going
to throw this at a toss up right now.
Because 49ers, I was like, does it really matter when or where? No, because the 49ers are a better team, but with the circumstances of coming off of a bye, it being at home in December at night. It tips it a little bit towards Buffalo.
But it's still anyone's game.
Then you have the Rams, who no one. What do you expect from the Rams? Because coming off of, if they won the Super Bowl, no one expected that.
That was
and
years ago.
Then you come. Well, I'm saying the progression is they come off of that, and you're like, oh, they're going to be good. They weren't. They were bad.
Yeah.
And then you expected them to be good. Or you expected them to be bad this last year because it's like, oh, they lost pieces.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a first round pick, and then they come in and
get like a decent run for a bit.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, I mean, they look like a good team, and now you got some solid picks through the draft, and so I think the expectation is for them to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I've learned from the Rams is I can't trust what I would expect out of them going into the year.
So what do you expect of them going into this year?
I feel like the expectation is for them to be better this year.
You think the Rams will? Well, because it's at home.
It's at home
all the way across the country, so Bills fans really have to travel for this one.
It is. They do still have a full week, so it's not a short week for them. Luckily, I think it's definitely winnable for the Bills. It's so much turnover in the NFL this year.
I think the Rams beat them in this round.
That could be that could be a tough game. It could be a tough game for the Bills, going on the road. I mean, it's not like the Rams. It's not like SoFi is like the toughest place to play.
No,
but I think
they're a solid enough team where they could give the Bills a run for their money.
I think down the line this could be a tough one for the Bills. Mm-hmm. So we'll put this. I think this could be a loss.
Buffalo going to Detroit.
Loss.
Yeah, I was gonna say a loss. The Detroit wins this one.
Yeah.
Then the final 3 weeks is Patriots, Jets, and Patriots. So we had the Bills winning against the Jets earlier that season.
Yeah.
Usually it's a flip flop between.
It usually is. I could see, especially with. What, 1, 2, 3, 4,
I do
5,
believe
6.
This is one of those situations where I think the Jets might be able to sneak in as a wild card, like at 9-8.
I think see Aaron Rodgers.
This is where they would push. This is where they would push.
I could throw a bone for the Jets and give them a win here. I think but even then it's like it's still at home. Mm-hmm. It's still the Bills coming off of a full week, and it's hard for me to say that the Jets should win on the road late in December.
Fair.
So, like, I could go toss up.
All right.
I kind of lean. It's just hard for me to say that it's also just the Jets. And then I don't know why, but I feel like there's a split between the Patriots here, and I don't know why. Um,
I think the Patriots win at home and the Bills win at home.
that's fair. You get a win and then a loss week 18.
Do you want to leave the toss-ups for right now, or you want to come back to that right now?
I think we just I think we leave them and we just tally it up. Because what that gives just a
Because
quick
they
tally.
have 7 solid wins, 6 solid losses, and 4 of them are toss-ups.
Okay, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'd come out to a win total of 9. If the toss-ups are split 50-50.
So 9 and 8.
Yeah, that'd come out to about a
9
9
and 8 makes sense.
Which is, I mean, I think that'd be fine. It's you're looking at a Bills team that's going to take probably a step back because you got younger, you lost a lot of your veterans. Young guys are going to have to step up, so you're going to see a little bit of rough play. I think they might be off to they said because we have them in the first 5 weeks at 1.5 wins.
Yep.
I think that's pretty reasonable. I think they play well, and I think they'll play well in the middle. I think that's good. A 9 per win projection of 9 as a total, I think is reasonable.
Yes.
And then on to the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
If we're good with that.
Yep.
All right. So.
Okay, so this one, week 1 against Jacksonville, Dolphins at home. They probably beat Jacksonville here.
Well, that's one of the interesting things. It is at home, but it's Jacksonville, who's used to Florida heat.
Yes.
So how much is that helpful? But
Jacksonville is going to have a rough start again, I believe. I believe Jacksonville will be not as bad as they were last year, but they will not be as good as what they thought they were going to be last season, because they started 8-3 and then lost. They went 1-5 the last few weeks.
I think more importantly, even than looking at the Jaguars having a rough start, I think what you look at is the Dolphins constantly having a hot start. They do it almost every year, and then they fizzle out later in the year. I think week 1, I agree. Week 1 against the Jags, they're going to come out swinging, and it's going to look rough. Like we mentioned, against the Bills, I think that's going to be a win pretty easily for the Dolphins.
Yeah. Dolphins going to Seattle. This one might end up being a Seattle win.
Really? I was thinking win here.
You think for Dolphins?
For the Dolphins. I thought it was going to be... Again, they usually start hot. I mean...
I can see
They
that.
added some weapons. They got Chop Robinson, so that defense might actually step up. But if their offense starts as good as it usually does in the early weeks, they're one of the most difficult teams to play.
Yeah.
And I don't think Seattle is going to be the team that really is going to put a stop to that.
No.
Because I think
So do we want to say the Dolphins win against the Titans and Patriots the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to get off to a really hot start. They might look like the best team. Probably 5 wins off the bat. And then you go into Indianapolis. And just Indianapolis, honestly, they could start 8-0 here. Because I don't think the Cardinals. Well, God, I feel like I'm not giving the Cardinals enough credit, but I don't know that the Cardinals stop them here either.
The Bills. I think. Did we decide that the Bills were going to win against Miami there?
I think that so.
I think the Bills are going to give them their first loss.
Yeah,
because it's at Buffalo.
That
might be where,
5.
because they'll go 7-0 and then they'll lose to the Bills in week 9.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So,
and then what is it? Dolphins going across the country to the Rams. This one, the Rams might be able to be. Do you think the Rams might beat them?
I think that might be a sneaky. I mean, they do have it's what looks like a Monday night game
It is a Monday night game.
So the Dolphins will have an extra day, I guess. I think the Rams might pull out a win here.
Yeah.
That kind of seems like one fit for the Rams. But then you go and play the Raiders.
Raiders at home.
I think Raiders are gonna have a rough year this year.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of intentional with their quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're like tanking, but they're not expecting. I don't know that they're expecting playoffs this year.
No.
So I probably would see this as a win. And
I'm going to say I'm looking at this. So we said week 11 and 12 the Dolphins win.
which ones are those?
Raiders and Patriots.
We didn't say anything about the Patriots yet. We just did the Raiders, and we said that would be a Dolphins win.
Okay.
I do think the Dolphins probably would beat the Patriots here, though.
So from week 13 to 18, I already have a thing going on because we mentioned before the Dolphins start off very strong. They kind of fumble towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to the Packers. This might be the game where the Jets turn things around and get a solid win. This is like where they start it. They beat the Dolphins at Miami. Dolphins go to the Texans. They lose to the Texans. And then there's the Niners. Niners are obviously a good team. They're a super team. Niners will beat the Dolphins, but the Dolphins will finish the year beating the Browns and the Jets.
I was gonna say they finish the season. They do finish the season beating the Browns. I thought the Jets was more of a toss-up just because it's a January game in New York, and I mean that's gonna be kind of a cold weather situation. I mean it's also the same thing with the Browns, but
yeah, because I haven't looked. Well, we haven't looked at the Jets' record or the schedule yet. So either the Dolphins win in week 14 or they win in week 18. One of those games, the Jets are going to beat them.
I can see that happening. I feel like week 18 is more likely.
Okay.
But I think both could be possible. Just because of how they fade down the stretch.
Let's say the Jets win in week 18 because that will get them to the playoffs. Because I do believe the Jets are going to sneak in. If Aaron Rodgers will be as good as he is, like he's always has been, this is the point where he sends them to the playoffs.
So you think win against the Browns and then
lose to the Jets in week 18 in New
win
York.
against Browns, lose against Jets, but you're saying change the...
Yeah, the Dolphins will beat the Jets in week 14. So the Dolphins currently have the division, which I can easily see.
Yeah, let me...
I think the Dolphins will actually win the division this year. And then
that would come out to 11, yeah.
11 and 6.
It'd be 11 total wins. Which again, they don't have a tough schedule. You play the Patriots, who are rebuilding.
Yes, they're going to be rebuilding.
Titans are rebuilding. Colts are kind of mid-tier. Cardinals are rebuilding. Raiders are rebuilding. Like, you have a pretty easy schedule. It gets rough at the end. We have no idea what the Browns are going to look like. But I think you'd probably see the Browns defense start to take a step back the next couple of years because of that Deshaun contract.
Mm-hmm.
So, realistically, their schedule is not that hard. They kind of have a pretty easy one. Where it's roughest is the beginning and the end. And the beginning, they start hot anyways. So if they can get through that beginning spot with 4 wins, at least, they're going to be set for the division, I think. But moving on to the Patriots. And, oh boy, will it be probably a rough year for the Patriots.
Yes.
Week 1.
Bengals are beating them.
That's for Bengals fans, I hope that
you
things
better
are
beat
not
the Patriots.
If if you lose to Patriots week 1, even if the Patriots are like somewhat good, panic because it's just like we need to go back to the playoffs. So, yeah, that should be, especially at home, it should be a Cincinnati win. Week 2, Seahawks.
Seahawks are beating the Patriots.
I would believe that. I would. Ooh. Then you go to the Jets on Thursday. Short week, but I kind of think again. I think Aaron Rodgers might have a rough shot. I mean, it's a veteran on a new team versus rookie, and both are week 3, so both are going to take some adjusting. Comes down to coaching, really, and we don't know much about Gerard Mayo as a coach. I don't know. I feel like this could be a loss, or a loss for the Jets. I think this could be a win for the Patriots.
Fair.
And one of the few bright spots, because I think the Jets are still going to take a little bit of getting together.
They're gonna have a rough start.
So I think that could be. Oh, I wrote this completely backwards. Oh no.
So
Loss. First win, Jets, and then
they're gonna lose to the Niners. We already have them losing to the Dolphins.
Yep.
Texans they're gonna beat them. Texans are gonna beat the Patriots. However, Patriots versus Duval.
Oh, I think Duval wins.
Yeah, Duval's gonna win that one. Patriots are gonna win against the Jets.
Yeah, I think. Well, we had the one earlier. I think this is where. Although again, it could be flipped, because home and away, obviously.
I think Rodgers will have a slow start, so I think the Jets will win week 8.
That's fair.
Patriots will beat the Titans in week 9. Lose to the Bears in week 10.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be a rookie matchup. It is it's a mid-Sunday game, so there's nothing special there. It's in Chicago, but
Williams has more weapons.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of faith in the Bears, and it's not to say that the Bears are going to be necessarily worse, but I think this is a game that the Bears could drop, because I think there's going to be inconsistencies. I think there's going to be bad games, and the Patriots notoriously have a good defense. Gerard Mayo, I think, is going to keep that up. Coming from the defensive side of Bill Belichick's scheme, I think this is going to be a rough week for Caleb Williams, and I think we might see throughout the year that Justin Fields' weapons might not look as good if they can't get going, and I think Eberflus is going to kind of get out coached here. I think this is probably a game Chicago drops, and I'm not saying that they should drop it, but I think it's just
probably going to happen.
I mean, we could throw it as a toss-up if we want, but I think this is a game.
I can see the Patriots winning against the Bears, because the Bears will be, like you said, pretty inconsistent. I can see that happening. Rams are beating the Patriots. Sorry, there's no way you're gonna beat the Rams.
Well, if the Rams lose this week, clip it.
Week 12, Patriots are losing to the Dolphins because it's at Miami.
I think there's something off here. But yeah, losing to Miami.
Colts one is an interesting one. I think the Colts might have the slight edge here.
Actually, I mean, it is at home.
It is at home, yes.
In December.
But I think Richardson might actually prove to be somewhat reliable at QB. Colts, they'll win like pretty good games here and there. They're not going to be a great team, but they'll probably be decent enough.
I think they'll be solid. It's can Anthony Richardson stay healthy? He's not gonna have as good of. I don't remember who their backup is currently, but I don't.
It's not Minshew.
It's not Minshew. I could see.
I think the Colts might win this one.
Colts are definitely.
Colts have played in cold weather before.
They have. I'm kind of just in the middle, is why, because. Again, Colts, I think, are going to be an average team,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously the Patriots are going to be a bad team, but though even the bad teams sneak out a few wins,
Mm-hmm.
and even though they're up to 3, I think they still have a few left. But I don't know. I think they could beat, or I think the Colts could win this one. It's a familiar foe, so I think they could lose this.
You got the bye week. They're going to be at the Cardinals in week 15. Patriots might win this one. Cardinals have been very inconsistent, I think, since whenever, I guess. Unless Murray can turn that offense around and that coaching. Marvin Harrison, yes.
That'll help.
But Patriots have a solid defense. I won't refute that, though.
Yeah, it's also they're coming off of a bye.
They're going to be better prepared for this one.
Yeah, Cardinals I feel like are going to be scattered wins this year, and again, both teams are in rebuilds, so
I think they can go either way, but I feel the Patriots will beat them.
I feel like
Patriots have had a record of beating certain teams a lot.
And then we had
Bills are going to beat the Patriots. We already had this in the system.
Yes, we did.
Hey, look, a team that they constantly beat up. The Chargers. Patriots are going to win this one.
New coach.
Yeah.
Both ways.
I know, both ways. However, Patriots have been pretty dominant over the Chargers in recent history, if I can recall correctly.
How long is recent history? Is that Brandon Staley era?
No, beyond Brandon Staley era. I can say the word. So, I don't know. I can remember games from like 2016, 2017. The Chargers always messing up when Rivers was still around.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I feel like the Chargers are, and I feel like this happens every year, but I feel like the Chargers kind of turn a little bit of a leaf. I think they're gonna be close to a playoff team. I don't think they're gonna be great, but it's how effective is that run game, because that's, I feel like, what the Chargers are going to lean on this year.
True.
I don't know.
Do you think the Chargers might actually beat the Patriots this year?
I think it's very possible. I think the Chargers are a better team going into this year. It could definitely be a toss-up as well.
I can see either way. What do you think?
I mean, again, it's been dominant, but it's new coaches both ways. So it's not just on the Brandon Staley's being gone, but it's also Bill Belichick's gone.
Now I'm thinking about it. Chargers are better equipped compared to the Patriots.
I could go with a toss-up. It's a nice middle ground.
We'll do a toss-up right here. And then the Patriots are beating the Bills in Week 18.
Yeah.
That's what we have. And then finally, we have...
Let me tally these up. So we got... For the Patriots, what, 1, 2, 3,
they have 5
4,
wins.
5 and a half.
5.5
with the toss-up.
With the toss-up.
Which I feel like is expected. They're currently sitting at the bottom. Then we have the Jets. Which
I kind of... I've kind of already figured out what they could be, like, record-wise.
Week 1 in San Francisco.
No way.
No. Week 2 in Tennessee.
I think they might get an early win, like this early. They might beat the Titans.
They could. I was thinking this could also be a loss, because I think the Titans are gonna. I think the Jets could look like a really bad team early on. Or although sometimes they come out
not that bad.
You're giving Titans no credit.
Well, yeah, because the Titans are not that good right now.
They did lose Derrick Henry, and they did lose. I had the recent news, and I did forget this. They did lose D-Hop for 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll give it to the Jets.
Yeah.
But we
have the Patriots already winning against the Jets in Week 3.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the Broncos. First time we're seeing the Broncos.
Jets might win this one. They are coming off of like a quote unquote mini bye, because they have their first week 3 they have a Thursday game, and then 4 they have a Sunday game.
Is it a Sunday or a Monday game?
Sunday. I can
It is
see.
Sunday.
I can see the schedule.
Um,
Sunday game.
I think this is probably a win because
It's probably a win. I don't.
I mean, it's Bo Nix might have a rough start with how the Broncos franchise has been. I would probably give the Jets a win there. And then you go into Minnesota.
Jets.
I don't like their odds.
Vikings are probably going to be pretty sloppy right away.
I mean, it's the quarterback situation is a big question mark, but you're going against Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
They got elite weapons. They have a new edge rusher on that defense. You are at home, but I think this is going to be a rough stretch. I feel like they might drop this
I can see that one.
to the Vikings, which will continue an alternating win-loss.
Mm-hmm.
But that does not continue because we have this, I believe, as a loss to the Bills, right?
Yes. Lost to the
So
Bills.
that'll be 2 straight losses. But then they come
And
to
visit the Steelers.
Pittsburgh. Oh boy,
This could be a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers showdown.
it also might not be because we don't know who's going to be starting at.
Like
this point.
I said it could be.
It could be. We could see both play. We don't know. This is going to be an interesting game.
Do you want to call this one a toss-up?
I definitely could call this a toss-up because both teams are going to be sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers sloppily get to their 9 wins, but
yeah.
this one I think is a toss-up. And then Patriots.
We have the Patriots losing this one.
So,
Week 9,
Jets.
Texans at New York Jets. Would this be the game?
That the Jets start to turn things around.
Do you think this might be the game?
I think it could be. I mean, it's what?
It's a Thursday night game.
Thursday night on Halloween. Coming off of that was okay. So that's Sunday. So Thursday night, Halloween, going against the Texans.
I like the odds that the Jets might turn their season around with this win.
Yeah, because you kind of have like an easier schedule for the next couple weeks.
To close it out, yeah.
So I think you see a win here against a good or at least solid team. We don't know how the Texans. I'm still skeptical.
Always skeptical.
Yeah, what can I say? Sophomore slumps. It happens. Cardinals.
Jets are probably going to beat the Cardinals. Jets are probably at this point are going to be more put together than the Cardinals.
Yeah, hopefully healthy.
Colts visiting Jets. Jets might beat the Colts in this one. I don't think Richardson and the Colts are prepared to meet that kind of defense.
That's fair. I mean, the Jets are usually pretty good against.
They're pretty solid on defense.
Pretty good against the run, which is kind of what we're expecting from the Colts this year.
Yes.
And that's kind of. Oh, I mean, the Seahawks is just. I don't know. I feel like the Seahawks, you have to give them the nod here. That could just be me, but I feel like, they look good after 4 weeks. You come and you got Seattle come in. I feel like Seattle
Beats them.
comes in and beats them and kind of lowers some standards.
Fair.
So I think a loss there. And then did we have this as a win for Miami?
We did have this as a win for Miami.
So that's 2 losses. And then Duval.
This is another one where I think the Jets can beat them.
Can beat them?
Yes.
I think that's possible. Again, well, it's what does Jacksonville look like with its new weapons and hopefully new looking offense? I think it's a winnable game.
They're gonna have some bumps in the road.
I think it is a winnable game.
Jets probably win this one. Rams or Jets? This is one of those ones where I am pretty Rams should beat the Jets here. However, this is in New York in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is.
Aaron
December.
Rodgers has played in snow games before.
Yeah, this
Many
is kind of
snow games.
I mean, yeah. Well, so is Stafford, but
Yes, but the Rams as a whole.
Rams as a whole, not
team.
as much. And I kind of was thinking of the nod towards the Jets here, which is, yeah, I would say nod towards the Jets. And we had them against the
Bills win. Bills will win this one. And then they beat Miami to close out the season.
all right.
Because as of right now, they're at 9.5 wins.
With this projection, it would leave Dolphins ending in first with a projection of around 11 wins. Jets at 9.5, Bills third at 9, and
Patriots are 5.5.
which I think is very possible. Dolphins, you see them probably fade out towards the end of the year with what?
But they do take the division this year. I am a firm believer the Dolphins are going to take this division.
I mean, it really, literally all it would have taken last year was beating the Bills once.
Yeah, and they couldn't do it.
But I think you see Bills take a step back.
They'll probably do it.
Jets, if they can stay healthy, especially Aaron Rodgers, you see them take a step forward, and I think that gives them. I think that easily could give them the half win they need, half win to pass the Bills. So I think that's fair. I think you see some pretty interesting play this year. It's just can the Jets get over their inability to actually to win anything? Yes. And are the Bills gonna come back at all as they were? Can the Dolphins win down the stretch? Those are the three things that'll settle this out. And then with the Patriots, it's just try and look solid.
Basically.
I think this is fair.
I like these standings. Obviously, not everyone's going to agree with us, as we've seen before. These are just guesses from what we can see happening, but like everything is very unpredictable. For all we know, the Patriots could win the division.
They could.
They really could. We don't know. Anything can happen in these scenarios. So.
They're younger, but you don't. It's new coach,
new
quarterback.
You have no idea. They could even sneak in a wild card this year.
They could. You could see all four of them win.
It's very possible. So
this could also be the worst division in football, and you could see.
Not by a long shot. This is not the NFC South, though.
I don't know. NFC South. I mean, we'll get to them when we get to them, but you don't know. You never know.
Well, this is the end of the AFC East predictions. Let us know how you feel about it. Actually. Will has already said, we appreciate all of the support that we've had from the skits already because personally, I like to have a little bit of creativity when it comes to just content and everything, and seeing the positive reviews from that kind of stuff really, makes me happy because, I love putting in that kind of stuff into the whole mix and everything. So hopefully we can do more stuff like that in the future. I mean, it's not like we're going to be doing every single NFL team for this kind of stuff. So yeah, we're kicking. Anyways, thank you for joining us, and we'll be doing the rest of the divisions. See ya.
Bye.